Hello. Welcome, guys. Welcome back to Mantalk.ke. This is a very exciting episode. I hope you've all been well. And today's episode is a very exciting one. It's a Q&A. And we always say that halfway through the season, we like to do a Q&A, or 3/4 of the way through the season. We want to have an interactive episode. We did it last season. We're doing it this season. And I personally cannot wait. We've asked people on social media to send us questions. And you guys really did. What we've done, we've not really looked at them that much. We've just sort of had a peek, and we've already seen that there's some saucy stuff going on there. Oscar, how are you feeling about these questions that you've sort of peeked at?
Yeah, man. First of all, welcome to Mantalk.ke, another fire episode, just like Eli has said. Comment, like, share, subscribe off of the bat. Like, we need all those views. We need all those likes. We need you to tell your friends. The Q&A session today is absolutely lit, bro. I don't know. Like, I've seen the questions and I'm like, yikes! You people are
There's a few.
Are nasty. You're nasty people. You know, I thought that the content we're putting out will attract an erudite, conscientious, thoughtful crowd of people. But we've been raising
human nature kicked in.
We've been raising savages. Yeah.
Apparently so. Yeah, no, there's some definitely wild ones. There's also some very interesting ones, some quite intellectual questions too. So we're going to do the whole range. We're going to do the whole range here. You know, we like a challenge. Honest and elevating, right? So that falls under the bracket.
Let me take a look at these questions.
Okay,
Mad.
Oscar, I think let's just go. Let's just jump.
First of all, before we even go anywhere, you have to explain this shirt of yours to us. What the hell is going on with this shirt, my guy?
This shirt is a beautiful material that just hugs the skin and massages the little hairs on my body with the lovely textures of it. If you're on the podcast, you can't see that, unfortunately. You can go to YouTube and have a look, but it's a glorious shirt that matches the hat, as you can see.
It looks absolutely expensive, my guy. You're making us.
Divine.
You're one of the reasons why we are not getting as many sponsorships. They look at us and they're like, these boys are already opulent. These boys are already killing it. Hermes, if you're watching this, we wear good fabric. You know what I mean? Louis Vuitton, please call us up. Patek Philippe. Don't ask. Our wrists are empty, but our drip is not. You know what I mean?
We are open for business.
We are open for business.
You know? We are open for business.
You know?
Oscar as well. I'm liking what you're wearing, repping the merch as always.
Standard.
It's a must.
Standard. You know what I mean?
It's a must.
Designed by us, made by us. Coming to your stores soon. Say less.
Soon come.
Just
yes.
relax.
So if you're on the podcast, you're missing out on all of these visuals, by the way, if you're on the podcast. So you go to our IG, you'll see all the pictures from today as well.
Fire.
I think there's going to be a photo dump or a BTS that you can have a look at. So that's going to be good.
That's going to be good. I think that's going to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oscar, have you warmed up? You've been up and down the touchline? You've been up and down the you warmed up? You ready to play the game?
Yeah, I'm ready. And as usual, I start with the most toxic question of the day. Most toxic question of the day. Okay? Yeah, are you ready?
Let's go.
I was about to take the one that you'd never allow me to. Then I was like, nah.
Just so people know, by the way, we don't know which question the other person's going to ask. We have all the questions. We don't like some of them, but we don't know which the other person's going to ask. So it's going to be
Eli,
interesting. I have no idea what he's about to say.
According to your very educated opinion, your educated academic opinion, is one allowed to be in a relationship with more than one person? Very educated opinion. You're very learned.
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
In my opinion, it's my opinion. My opinion is...
Justify it.
No.
But we're saying, Eli.
Okay, what? Fine. Okay. Unless it's an agreement you have, I can't even comprehend that kind of lifestyle. But some people live like that. But in my opinion, in my upbringing, my lifestyle, I just don't think it's okay. I just think you ask for more problems when you try to like diversify. I know in some cultures that's fine, and that's something the way they've lived. But just in general society, the way we live and my interactions where I'm from, where I'm family's from, where I'm growing up here, it's monogamous. So I've just subscribed to that, and the fact that people subscribe to it but then deviate, I can't comprehend. I don't understand. I think it's a waste of time.
What
If
about
you want to subscribe to something elsewhere, then subscribe to it fully.
What about dating? Not entering a relationship, dating more than one person.
I think do it one at a time. Do one at a time. I think, if you want to start investing in a certain person, then put your efforts into that. Don't go and it's with anything in life. Don't go half-hearted. Like, I'm trying this, but I'm also gonna keep one foot over here. If you're going to something, go into it fully.
But bro,
a man of two minds is unstable in all of his ways.
But in our last episode regarding financial literacy, I don't know if you have had the time to see the episodes where we are talking about money. I remember you prominently talk about diversification. Eli, why is it that diversification is no longer a strategy for you in this particular endeavor?
Well,
since we're talking investing,
diversification. Okay, no, that's fine. When you're investing in your future, right, there's different aspects of your future to consider. There's the emotional and then there's financial. When it's financial, there are risk factors that are involved, right? And with investing, they say to invest in about 7 different things. If we're talking about Ray Dalio's approach to investing, that's fine because that's mathematical, that's empirical. When you're coming to something that's emotional, when it's coming to something that's, more psychological, then you don't want to be putting your eggs in different baskets.
Why?
A man of two minds is unstable in all of his ways.
But wait, let's look at the risk factors. Let's look at the risk factors,
okay,
Mr. Eli. Let's look at the risk factors. What if all of your investment in one person is actually a bond? She is a bond that you're expecting yields from, but she's not giving you the yields. Why not invest in another bond while maintaining this one and waiting for it to mature? And then when the price is right, you can switch from one market to another. Why are you not advocating for this, Mr. Eli? Why?
Advocating for various bonds.
Yes.
Okay, when it comes to risk factors, there's actually, because we're talking on an emotional level, there are more risks involved when diversification happens.
Really?
Whereas vice versa, when it comes to financial, there's less risk. But when it's an emotional, you have a certain capability of love that you can offer. So if you're spreading that thin, it's actually more risk because you can't actually maintain the various assets where you've placed your emotions and love. So you're telling me it's actually more risk.
So you're telling me less is more when it comes to relationships, yes? This is the conclusion.
Exactly.
Less is more.
Yes, less is more. Oscar, I would like, actually no, we don't pose the question to you. The other person answers and we move on.
Yeah, we move on. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen,
so
I have now verified that this man does not belong to the streets. I congratulations, Eli. Your streets,
never, you won't find
the streets do not know your name. They do not sing your song whenever you walk. You're unfamiliar with the streets. Congratulations, Eli. I can now proclaim it with certainty. I was unsure, as your friend and homie. I was unsure whether you knew the streets, but now I know you do not know the streets. So
yes, I'm a foreigner. I'm a foreigner
to the streets,
to the said streets.
Yes.
I love analogies. If there's one thing in life I love, is a good analogy. I love it. Give me a metaphor, an analogy. Let's run. Oscar, since you've decided to start with violence, you've decided to just go crazy. You said, I'm gonna just give him a hard time. So, let me go through some of these. One that's gonna make you sweat. When you get the little trickle down the back of your neck.
It's hard.
Okay.
It's tough. I'd never sweat. I never break under pressure.
Yeah.
Not me.
That makes 2 of us. Okay. Oscar, this is the last one we're going to talk about when it comes to relationships.
No, it's not. No, it's not up to you.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Nah.
Okay.
I might keep on
coming. Okay. It's a fair playground. Okay. Oscar Kumi. Ombabo Kumi. Why would a brother ask for my number and not express any interest in talking? What foolery. My first question is, have you engaged in this type of behavior? And why do men do this to people?
Have I asked for a number that I have not used? When it comes to this specific question, Mr. Eli, I'm afraid...
Stuttering there, Oscar.
This is a good question. On camera, no less.
You started. I wanted to go down the other avenue, but you said 1 for 1.
Let me tell you something. I can proudly proclaim that I am part of the number of the men that have taken numbers that they have not used. Simply because sometimes we get busy. Sometimes it's not even about you. Don't make everything about you. Sometimes it's about us. Sometimes we have these priorities. I have to call Eli, plan the shoot with Beryl, call up the office and make sure that everything is in order. Sometimes as men, we're busy. It's not that we don't have time for you. It's nothing to do with you. It's mainly to do with us and our priorities and what we are considering at this stage in life. So we will get to calling you. Don't worry. We will get to calling you. When we ask for a number, it doesn't mean that. When you ask for your number, it means that we would like to get in touch with you. The when and how is the mystery, not just to you, but
I'd just like a follow up there.
But the man himself, not just to you.
If the shoe is on the other foot, Oscar, how would you, as being one of the members of that community that you've mentioned, if the shoe was on the other foot and you had given your number and there was no response?
Not response. There was no engagement. Response.
Engagement.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
How would you feel with the lack of engagement, Mr. Kwame?
I would feel nothing because I understand that life is the way it is. It's the vagaries of life are what we're going through as young people. We are simply passengers on a boat. We are simply passengers
on the sea of life.
On the sea of life.
As we drift
through life.
Waves may come,
turbulences may come. Indeed.
But the life vest of faith.
So stay fast and hold on. Stay strong. The call may come. Stay strong. Hold fast. Oh, sea man or sea woman.
Hold fast, my brothers.
Hold
my
fast.
Sisters.
The
Hold
call
fast.
will come.
Hold fast.
Hold fast.
Hallelujah.
Keep praying and believing. Somebody will call your number. It might not be who you expect, but somebody is calling.
It may not be who you want.
It may not be
but
who
it is
you
who
want,
you need.
but it is who you need.
The church said.
You hear me? You're picking up what I'm dropping down.
Me gotcha.
You get me? It might not be the shutter that you want. Might not be the woman that you want, but it's definitely the painting that you need. You know what I mean?
Me say, sometimes the medicine tastes bitter, but it's good for your system.
It's a bit hard to swallow.
It's
a bit hard to swallow, but the truth is, it's gonna be what you need.
It's good for you. It's good for you.
Yeah.
I think we've tackled that one.
Yeah.
With both feet.
Yeah. I have.
Yeah, good stuff. My cheeks already hurt, and we're how many minutes in? 10 minutes.
Eli, this question is especially for you. Because, like I said, there's a lot of people online who are aggravated by your behavior. There's a lot of people online who are hurt by what you do and how good you are doing it.
I can already tell it's just. I can already tell.
You know which one it is. Eli, this woman would like to know: is it even slightly possible, to work out and not let people know? Is it possible? Can you not? Is it possible for you not to post yourself working out, even slightly?
Oscar, you know when you go to a restaurant, right? And somebody serves a nice meal and you're sat next to somebody. It would be rude not to say, do you want to try some?
Ooh.
When you sharing, as they say, is caring.
Wait.
And
Eli, I have a question.
I choose to share.
I have a question just to follow up.
We're still on the first one. Okay. I haven't got an answer.
Just to follow up. Do you share all of your nice meals with strangers in restaurants?
Listen, this is. It depends on the kind of restaurant. Depends on the stranger if they've invested.
Depends on the stranger.
This is a shambles. This episode is shambles.
So you share all of your. You order the pasta, and the first thing you do is like, excuse me, strange man, excuse me, John, would you like some pasta? John, Jane, would you like some? What if Jane is allergic to pasta? You've not thought about it. You're just force feeding. Eat this content. Eat it.
Oh dear. Let me answer this properly. Okay. Let me go to my intentions why I do share. I think everything is down to intent, right? Everything is down to intent. So genuinely, when I'm sharing my workouts, a lot of the time, so I remember one of the best things I ever did when it came to working out online is doing that 30-day challenge, right? So I showed myself at the beginning, showed myself at the end, right? And that's when I sort of start. I never used to post my workouts that much. I'd post about 20% of my workouts. Then when COVID happened, I was posting, I got really out of shape. You can go and look at one of my highlights on Instagram. I was out of shape and then I said, I'm going to get back into shape. I know what it takes to get back into shape. I know that I can do it in 30 days. Let me share it with somebody else because there's a pandemic. I'm guessing other people are going through the same thing. And that's when I got so much responses to my workout content. And they were like, oh, you want to see more? And there was sort of that accountability where people were checking in like, are you working out today? And I'm like, yeah, I'm doing it in the evening. And it would get people moving as well.
I have a question.
So for me, it's kind of...
I have a question.
Okay.
These people who are constantly watching your content, were they men or women?
It was a cluster of both.
Was it really?
Varies.
Your engagement was 50-50, was it?
Men and women. About 50-50%, yeah.
Okay, keep going. Yeah. It's okay.
Well, yes. So that's why I kind of... That's why I kind of doubled down on it. And then if you follow me, I started even now making videos with my friends that are also content creators, working out together. A very tight group of people. And we started working out together and, making content so that, we can then, encourage other people to do so as well.
A tight group of people indeed. Very close-knit group of people. Yeah.
Very close-knit.
Very close-knit. Yeah. I have no further questions.
That's why my intent was just to encourage other people to start moving, And
and we will
Rotimi has carried that flag.
Yeah, we'll continue to ask you guys, follow Rotimi and at Rotimi's page. He has an excellent program there. Go and check it out. I think now he's gone into, I think it's virtual fitness. So like he's actually
virtual fitness. You can sign up. It's like $50 a month. You sign up and he works out with you Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, I believe. And he's just the best guy to work out with. Just great energy.
Yeah,
we recommend
great energy. 10 out of 10 would recommend.
Yeah.
Rotimi, we will send you our rate card after this, Rotimi. This is now becoming too frequent.
Yes, this is actually normal. This does cost money.
Yeah.
This does cost us some money.
Good. I think you've tackled the question very well, Mr. Mwenda.
And thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. It's always a pleasure.
And I will say this: it is very irritating to see you work out when we can't work out. But I continue to support you, strong.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother.
Very strong way.
Thank you, brother.
All right. Next question.
Okay. Okay, this is quite a good one now. Okay, I think it's been quite jovial. This is quite a nice one to sort of double down on.
Okay.
Do men's definition of masculinity evolve as they get older? And if so, what are some of the things that inspire it?
Oh, that's a good question. Why ask questions that force us to be serious, guys? Like, now.
My cheeks were hurting. I needed to. Yeah.
Okay, so obviously, yes. The answer to that question is yes. Like as men, as we grow into ourselves and into what we need and what we want, and as we become more discerning with age, we discover what it really means to be not a man of the people, but a man who is one we can be proud of. So we begin to own ourselves and to own who we are as men as we continue to grow in age. And you see, the thing is, the modes of expression for a man as he grows older also increase. If, let's say, profession-wise, you perceive yourself as being more competent, then you double down on that competence. And you know that for you will be a huge part of your identity. The fact that you are competent and you're able to deliver high quality work in a given professional environment. So that's one of the things that I think over time improves. The second thing about being a man is provision, your ability to provide, because you grow in wisdom and you grow in knowledge as you age and as you mature as a man. you begin to define masculinity around the boundaries of provision, around the boundaries of being able to give yourself and the people you love the life that they want. So yes, the answer to that question is yes. And then also another thing is spirituality. Most people don't really think that men are in touch with their spirits. We're not like put out there in the media as being people who find importance in being in touch with your spirit. But like, I feel like as you grow as a man, you begin to find an importance in having a relationship with God, whichever God that may be. So you'll find that men, as we grow older, we become more religious because we kind of understand what a house built of sand and a house built on a rock. That becomes clearer to us. Things that are temporary and things with a sense of permanence, that delineation becomes very clear to us. So as men, we seek things that are permanent. We seek things that are stable. We seek things that we can build legacy from, things that we can express ourselves through over time. And that's how I think my personal story on how my definition of masculinity has grown. It's grown with my own growth as a man in age. So it kind of goes like that. I don't know if I've answered the question.
Yeah. No, that's so spot on. I know we're not going back and forth, but I like how you've basically broken down the three aspects, how they all evolve, and as they evolve, your definition of masculinity evolves. I think that's a really good way to look at it. Like those three pillars you basically highlighted, as they evolve, this evolves, and then you evolve as a consequence. That's really good. I know we're not going back and forth, but just to tap on that, what I found as well is that especially when I hit like 25, right?
Yeah.
What I realized is that your ego changes from an ego you had younger, which was an ego fueled by ignorance. I found my ego back then was fueled by ignorance, and this ego is fueled by my potential. That's what happened to me.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Good
so
point.
like my masculinity and even the way that I present myself wasn't with a arrogance that I know everything. It's more with a assurance that I'm good at learning, and that confidence just changes. But during that transition stage, what I found is that as a man, sometimes your confidence goes down because you're evolving. So like I'm going from I know everything to I'm realizing I don't know everything. I need to learn from people and being okay with being like vulnerability, being okay with like learning from another man, being okay with being like raising your hand and say I don't know. And I think that's what I found anyway. It was more the way my egos change is the way my masculinities change.
Yeah.
There's other aspects, but again, that was your question.
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah, really good question. Good question.
So I'll take since now we're in the vein of like serious conversation, I'll take a question that's just as insightful. When you're discussing low self-esteem, especially if you're a man, how do you raise your self-esteem? So Eli, how do you raise your self-esteem as a man? You're a very confident guy. You're looking. If you're wearing that shirt, you're confident as hell.
Listen. I know that was one of those backhanded ones, and I'll take it. Because I'll take it, yeah? You know, those backhanded, you can pull it off, but, risky, but, like, it looks good on you. Like, I couldn't win.
It looks really good on you, bro.
It looks really good on you. Oh dear.
Only people with high self-esteem can say that to each other, no doubt. Like,
yeah. You know that the other one can take it. The other one can take it. So self-esteem. On low self-esteem. Okay, so if I'm going to be very honest in elevated conversation, this is what Mantalk is. Self-esteem, you won't know the man's true self-esteem because we're very good at masking it with a lot of rubbish. So even if a man doesn't have low self-esteem, you'll find that he can definitely mask it with confidence and with ego, right? This is what I've personally done. So as I mentioned in that transition of my ego from the ego showing confidence in all my like schooling, I was all the first hand up, performance, present this award, play sports. That ego, like I said, that morphed. During that transition stage, my self-esteem, it dipped. Because I got to a place where I'm like, okay, you're realizing that, you're not the be-all, end-all in this world. Because at a certain time as a guy, you think you're literally the man in every situation. Yeah. And when you start to realize you're not, if you haven't done any work on yourself, your self-esteem will dip. And if you don't have that assurance of your potential, what I found is that you're left with nothing. Because when you come away from that ignorance and that ego, when you're now looking at the world like, okay, I'm actually just a small fish in a massive pond, and you've not done any work to like emotionally develop or even intellectually develop, then your self-esteem shows you see no potential further on, and your self-esteem just dips. This is me speaking personally. So how do I raise it up? Raising it up, it means being very introspective to yourself, right? And being like, and very, very honest with yourself, which is another skill that guys sometimes don't develop. And rather than thinking about the sort of image you're portraying, thinking about like how you actually feel about yourself, because you're going to exude that eventually, right? But if you're constantly keeping up this facade, it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. But if like what I've done is I started seeing who I resonated with, who I can learn from, just researching things, what I'm interested in even a small capacity, going into that a bit more. And also for me, exercising was huge. Like just for your mental, it really helped me. So that's how I do. I try to definitely stay fit and just try to basically keep my mind and my body just operating on a high level. But don't have the misconception that it's always going to be like that. That your self-esteem has to go down and your self-esteem has to come up. It's never a constant plateau. So yeah, that's what I would say. Work on your body and mind. That's how you raise it up. And yeah, that's what I've done personally.
I think I can also chip in this question because it's another very insightful one. Something that's I think, and you've captured everything very well in terms of working on your mind and body, and also being conscious of the fact that your self-esteem is not a constant high. Sometimes it takes hits. So like you have to learn how to. Self-esteem is something that, if you're confident, you'll be able to grow. So work on your own confidence, on your own internal dialogue. Work on your own internal dialogue. What do you tell yourself before you sleep? What do you tell yourself when a tough task is presented to you? Focus on the conversations you have with yourself in certain moments, and you'll be able to understand whether you are in a state of high or low self-esteem. Because you see, confidence manifests itself in a task being presented to you that is difficult, that is challenging, and your esteem will tell you, I can tackle this, I can take this challenge. It might be difficult, but you can see a result. You can visualize a result where you're successful on the other end. So I always tell guys, like, that's how I know I'm in a situation where my confidence is high and I have a high level of self-esteem. So while self-esteem is something that fluctuates, based on your internal dialogue, you can keep your confidence constant. You can keep your sense of self-worth and your confidence constant. While your level of self-esteem is fluctuating, there's a baseline that's maintained. So that's how I like to think about it. That, yeah. So like how to get more confident is based on the conversations that you internalize and that you have with yourself, and the work you put in yourself. If you're constantly working every day, taking challenges and finishing them to completion, you will be able to achieve success. Working out every day is one very good manifestation of this. There are people who work out because they're challenging themselves to defeat their limits. Whenever they encounter problems or issues during the day, they're able to tackle those issues based on the goals that they've set for themselves physically as well. So that's all I'll say. Just watch your internal dialogue. The self-talk really, really matters. What do you say to yourself? Do you treat yourself with love? Do you treat yourself with affection? Do you tell your mind that you can dominate any situation that you put in? So yeah, that's how I put it. That's how I think.
Oscar, yeah. I know that I just want to keep going on this question a little bit because I think it's really key and a lot of guys might benefit from this.
Yeah.
How have you been able to, because I know my answer and I'll answer that afterwards, but in terms of, yes, self-esteem is literally that. It's to do with self, right? And it's to do with self-worth and self-development, mind and body. How have you been able to cultivate the people around you to make it an enhancer, not a disability when it comes to your self-esteem? Because that definitely impacts.
I cut people off. I educate people how to treat me, and if they don't learn, I cut them off. Like, it's really, for me, it's like, I set boundaries. I teach people that these are the things that are acceptable to me and the things that are not. And the ones who can't meet up with the standard, I let them go. That's how I cultivate my environment. It might seem ruthless, but like that's, because at the stage I'm at right now in life, a lot of what I do is based on my performance as a man. Is based on my ability to perform. Is based on my ability to reach a certain level, and not necessarily, and that now necessitates me having people who create an enabling environment around me. if you're not supportive, if you're not supportive, or if you're not trying to grow into somebody or something, I've found that even my value system does not allow myself to, I don't interact too much with you and I don't get too close with you. And if I find that, let's say you treat me in a certain way, in a way that I find disrespectful, I'm very quick to let you go, because I know if I don't do that, that's an impediment to my confidence. So that's how I've managed to curate my environment. Like, everyone around me at any given time, especially now at this stage in my life, are people who are like high performing individuals. And even if when I say high performing, I don't mean necessarily just in their careers, but even in the friendships that we have, in the relationships that we have, that they are very reliable and very supportive in the things that they do, that they're not an anchor to my goals or dreams. So that's how I've done it. Just I teach people how to treat me, and if they don't learn, and if they transgress what I'm teaching them, or they act contrary, I cut them off. And
yeah. No, do you know what? That's spot on, and that's very similar to me. I don't know if it's because of the soil where we're from, but same as me. My thing is, just if I let somebody disrespect me, it means I don't respect myself. So that's how I look at it. So I've told you about instances where it doesn't matter how long we've been friends, it doesn't matter how tight we're supposed to be. As soon as you disrespect me, that's worse than even like hurting me. Just disrespect means that the perception you have of me means that you think you can get away with that kind of behavior, right? So as soon as I see disrespect, if I let it remain in my life, then I'm not respecting myself, and I'm not having a high self-esteem and a high value placed on myself. So what I do personally is, the only time that you'll see me changing my immediate environment is if my immediate circle, right, or my friendships, is if disrespect comes. That's when you'll see people like dropping. But as long as, there's mutual respect, because personally, and it's not to toot my own horn, with people that I know, I'm a very respectful person. It doesn't matter who you are. Like, I'm respectful because I respect myself, so I respect you, right? But when I see it the other way, when I'm not seeing it back the other way around, then for me it's, I completely cut it. And I've done it in many instances, and I think I've even shared stories with you. Like, it's just
snip.
As soon snip. So if you feel disrespected and you're letting that remain in your life, it basically means that you're not respecting yourself. That's how I put it.
Snip.
Yeah. Snip, baby. Snip. Okay. Snip.
Yeah.
I think we covered that one.
Next question, kindly.
Yeah, I think that's you to me. That was short question for me.
So it's me. I'm supposed to shoot the question now. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Eli, are you ready? Are you ready?
Here we go.
Okay. This is a it's a business question, because you're a businessman.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get investors to support in a business idea or a business? How do you buy in? How do you get investors to like weigh in your business?
Okay. So I like to be very transparent, right? I've never gone to an investor. I've never had to go to an investor that in like a formal setting. But in terms of I've got investment from family members before, when I was my very first clothing line. Let's put it there. Let's go all the way back, right? Because it's the same principles. My very first clothing line, I had to get investment from a family member, right? And when I went for that, because I'll start there, and I'm going to talk about like business in a hypothetical sense, because I've not actually been in that environment. But like on a basic level, the one thing, because here's the thing, everyone has an idea, right? Everyone has something they want to do, and I'm projecting that I can make this, and this. But the one thing investors need to see is progress you've made without the resource beforehand, right? Because a plan is great, but they need to see there's been some level of progress, because essentially when they're giving you your money, you're now guaranteeing them that you can put the work in that you're displaying to them. So if you come to them, it's just a fabricated thing. You've not done your due diligence. You don't have your numbers, especially your numbers like on point in terms of projections, in terms of what your costings are, and even your expenses. Those kind of intricate details are what they need, and also need to see not experience in the field, but experience in your product or your service or whatever you're trying to do, right? Like you've been doing it before them, and they want to see that you'd get there anyway, but you just get there faster with their investment. That's how investors look at potential partners. Now, in the business sense, it gets really complicated. There's like rounds of investment. There's business proposals you have to put together, but essentially it's the same principles, right? But now in a more formal setting. So you need to show that you know your business inside out. And when it comes to, was it looking for investors or getting them to invest?
Yeah, getting them to invest.
Get them to invest. Okay, so when you get them to invest, it's literally what I just said. You need to have your ins and outs. Any question about your business, you need to answer. Any back. There can't be any like fog about the background of the business. No. When somebody asks you a question maybe about the numbers and there's a stutter, there's I can get back to you. That's you're just going to lose the investment. So obviously your idea as well or your service needs to be something that they can see that you personally have a drive for and have that background for. So those three things, knowing it inside out, having the drive, and the main thing is they want to see you get there without them, but slower. They just want to accelerate you getting to the place that they can already see you're going to get to.
Yeah,
that would be my input. Yeah.
So okay, that's a fantastic answer, Eli. I can't add much to that, especially from the perspective of an entrepreneur who. Sorry, let me sit up. An entrepreneur who has built businesses himself. So you see, you focus on understanding the business, the metrics of the business, the ins and outs of the business. Now, for me, I'll break it down, I think, I'd like to say corporate level, but from my perspective, which comes from actually working with businesses that are in the beginning at the medium scale businesses, and then there are medium scale businesses that want to grow large scale. So the question they're asking is, you're at the idea stage. So if you're at the idea stage, that means that you're yet to have a product, you're yet to provide a service, it's still an idea. I strongly recommend that you don't ask for investment at this stage. Nobody's going to give money. Nobody wants to give you money for an idea unless it's family or friends. A lot of people usually see, entrepreneurship has been romanticized in the sense that people are like, I have a business idea, I want to pitch it to you so that we can start. The people you should first focus on pitching are the future partners and employees that you're going to have to implement that idea. The first partner is, for me, that's the most, at the idea stage, that's the most important person to any business. Because if you have an idea, the person who's going to invest most in your business in terms of time and effort is your partner. It's the person who you're going to build that business with. So that's if you're at the idea stage. Ideation, or if not, then build the product or service, provide the product or service on your own, and build the metrics and understand the direction that your business is taking. When you get to the stage where you actually have a business, and when I say business, it means you have customers coming in, you're able to sell your products or services for a profit, and it's a business that can sustain itself. So always think of a business as a different personality to you. People register companies, and companies are juristic entities. What that means is it's a different person from you, and that person is self-sustaining. At that stage, you call that person, that company, a business. That's when you now can say you have a business, because this thing is sustaining itself. It's able to pay you a salary. It's able to provide services to customers. Then now you say you have a business. Before, it's just an idea, or it's just a concept, or it's just a testing stage. So when you're at that stage where you have a company that's actually able to provide a service, you now can bring investors for one or two reasons. One, either you need expertise, where you need somebody to come in and sit with you and assist you to grow the business, or you need scale, meaning that you need capital to come into the business so that you can grow the brand and the products that are there and the product concepts that you have, so you can provide more value to the customers that are already there. So that's the stage now I think I'll focus on. The stage where you have a business, it's no longer an idea, you've identified a partner that you're working really well with, and you're able to create and scale, and you're able to service customers on a day-to-day basis. When you're at that stage, what investors want is exactly what Eli is saying. One is they want to see that you have a passion for your business. A lot of investors are willing to see how far are you really willing to go to ensure that your business survives. How far is your vision? And how well can you communicate that vision to your investors? So that's the first thing you need to ask yourself. You have a vision, you can see it, but how well can you communicate it to an investor? The investor is giving you money at an opportunity cost. What does an opportunity cost mean? It means he gives you $1 million, that $1 million goes nowhere else but to you. He would have invested that $1 million in bonds, in shares, and he'd have if he put it in a government bond, it would guarantee him an 11% rate of return. So in giving you money, he needs to be sure that you're passionate enough to take that money and make it multiply at a higher rate than that specific opportunity that is missing. So that means that you have to be passionate about the business. You're able to communicate that passion to him. You're able to communicate that passion to your employees that you're going to employ so that you can scale the business. And then 3, you're able to communicate that passion to your customers who will identify in it as a brand. So that's the first thing, communication. Very important. Very few entrepreneurs or business leaders talk about it, but that's what made most of these big businesses that you see. The second thing that you need is a strong understanding of the metrics of your business. Some companies even have their own metrics. There was no questions about impressions, questions about reach before Facebook came. Those were metrics that the Facebook team or the social media team, social media company teams invented and communicated to the investors. So find out business metrics that make sense for your business. Don't look at numbers the way you have to understand the rates of return of your business, yes, and all the standard profit and loss numbers for your business, but you also have to have metrics that are insights, unique insights that your investor can look at and say, this person understands this business and is adding different value compared to the market they're already in. So that's like the second thing. Understand the numbers of your business, and you have to really understand them. Don't just know juju, know them really, really well. That's my second metric. And then thirdly, just in the interest of time, the other thing I tell you to do is be able to have a unique value proposition for an investor. What is the thing you're the best in the world at? What is the thing you're the best in the world at? If you can identify that thing and you're able to provide value with that thing, money will chase you all the days of your life. I think that's my answer.
No, very true. Very true, very true. There's 2 things you've mentioned that are really key. You mentioned 2 different types of investors, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned one that's just cash, and you mentioned one that is, has experience, right? One thing I would say as well, just on the back of those investments that you've mentioned, is just because there's an investor doesn't mean that investor is for you.
Yeah.
You have to also be picky about the type of investor that comes on board, because either you're giving up a percentage of your company and you're going to be liaising with this person, right? And depending on the amount they've taken or equity they've taken for the company, a lot of the time you'll just see money and be like, that's the person for me. Because you don't want an investor that's just a yes man, and then when things go wrong, he wonders why it's gone wrong, because he has no experience or nothing to do with that field. So he'll see your idea, he'll just say you're brilliant, and he'll never ever question anything, but all the buck falls on you. And when it doesn't work, why does it not work? What's going on with my money? So the best type of investor, I would also say, is firstly, be picky. The best type is somebody that, yes, has the cash, but also has some sort of links, because you want sometimes you want more than cash from an investor. You want their connection, you want their expertise. That's also key. So I think getting the 2 you've mentioned, getting them combined is the perfect type of investor. It doesn't mean that you should take money just because it's on the table, because it could become more stress and it could actually disable your business, because, what happens, I feel as well, is this can sometimes stifle a business. If you get investment too early, you don't know how you can run your business with very little, which means that when you're used to running it with a lot, if anything goes wrong, you don't have the basis. So it's really key to be able to, firstly, like we said, run your business without money, because it forces you to be innovative, right? It forces innovation when you don't have much resource. So that's what I'll just say. Be picky with your investor, and don't always just take the cash. But I like the way you've definitely broken down as well.
Yeah. I think that question has been dealt with. It's your turn.
Yeah. Oh, it's my turn. Okay. We've gone to some serious places. Let's see if there's a little bit one. Oscar. Oscar.
I don't like that laugh.
Oscar.
I don't like it.
Huh?
I don't like that laugh, my friend. Tell me.
Dear. This is my last question for you. Then you give me one, and then I think we're good, because we're at the 45 mark. Oscar, Do men hate being asked for money? I want to change the word men to you. Does Oscar hate being asked for money? This question's come from a lady, a lovely lady. So we can only assume they mean being asked for money by her gender.
That's such a
So Oscar, please, the floor is yours.
That's such a bad question. Me, first of all, don't ask me for money. Don't ask me for money. Don't ask me for money. Ask me how we are going to make this money together. That is the right way you should be thinking.
Okay.
Like, ask me, how can we give Mantalk money? Ask me that question, because Mantalk...
It's a question I ask every day.
Yeah, how can we make Mantalk make money? Like, but anyway, in a more serious note, I think it depends who you're asking that question. First of all, you have to understand that these men are not your father. If it is your father you're asking that question, he's happy to give you money. Very pleased to give you. He'll give you. If it is your husband, I mean, I don't know. I'm not married, so I can't answer that. But I always feel like, if you're married to somebody, you're happy to, facilitate their finances. But me, a young man of my age, who is investing in business, in a business like this, amongst other things, himself, you think I'm going to enjoy the exercise of opening my wallet and giving you money? I'm going to take pride in opening my wallet. Maybe some man out there does, but definitely not this one. Because for me, my money is working for me, my friend. My money is busy. I'm trying to understand capital. I'm trying to understand what money is. And it's a very dangerous question for... I don't know. Should I say it? Okay, I'll say it.
Say it.
Do not commoditize yourself as a person. Do not turn yourself into a commodity, kindly.
He said it.
Do not commoditize yourself as a person. Do you know what to commoditize means? It means that you turn yourself into a good or a service so that you can, in exchange, be given money in exchange for yourself and your time. Commoditize yourself, yes, but commoditize yourself when you're doing it in the name of business. But don't commoditize yourself when you're doing it in the name of love and other things, because that never goes well. And that's the problem. Don't package yourself as somebody whose affection and whose time is based on money when you're talking about relationships. Eli has, at great pains, told us why you shouldn't treat love and emotions like investments. You should treat people like people and investments like investments. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. Okay?
And give to God.
And give to
what is God's.
God, exactly. Give to Caesar what is Caesar's. So if you're asking us questions about do men hate giving people money, it tells me you and money have a very serious issue. You don't have a good relationship with money. My wallet never has money these days. But let me see if I have money. I might have some to illustrate. This thing called money. Do you want to know why we have money and why money changes hands? Why is it that I have this money in my wallet right now? You want to know why? Would you like to know why? It's because I have provided value to someone somewhere, and that somebody has given me the money. So if you see Jeff Bezos go to the moon, it's because his business called Amazon has solved so many problems for humanity that people are willfully giving him money in all sorts of currencies beyond your wildest imagination, because he's providing value for money. So don't ask whether men hate giving you money. Ask yourself why you hate making money. Make money. Don't ask men to give you things. Done with my rant. That's crazy.
I think that's. Do you know what? You smashed it. You smashed that question.
Yeah.
I think she should be asking for money from a business, not an individual.
Yeah. Ask money from a business.
She should be providing
Start a business.
Yeah.
Start a business.
Yeah. Oscar, do you know you said something that should literally be on a t-shirt and put on billboards? You said, "Don't turn yourself into a commodity." That's and I think so many young men and women need to hear that, right? Because that's the mix-up they get. Because commodities lose value.
Thank you.
Right? They lose value.
Yes.
And if you don't want to lose value or be valued like that, we talked about this in our live. As soon as you start putting a price
on
yourself and put yourself in that box, you then can't complain if that box starts to melt.
Yeah.
Or if that box starts to break, you can't complain. So yeah, I think you smashed it. And
don't commoditize yourself, because once you do it, you're dependent on a market. You've now turned yourself into a commodity, which means that whether you're beautiful or not, whether you're intelligent or not, whether you put yourself in a market and then now your price begins to fall. Treat yourself in a way that's priceless.
Yeah.
And like that's branding. I don't even know. There's a million ways I can break it down, but like, yeah.
Honestly, that's don't turn yourself into a commodity. Yeah, you're more than a commodity. Ladies, please, and gentlemen, please. It's a big problem in our society.
Last question.
I know, already you could tell. I could just.
No. It's not toxic. It's not toxic. We end it.
All right. Okay.
We end it on a high note. End it on a high note.
Why don't I trust this guy?
So, Eli, would you like to tell our audience how we pick our topics? How do we pick the topics that we choose and keep this thing as dynamic as we do? I think that's a nice way to end it. Like a little insider information on Mantalk.ke.
Okay, yeah. So, right now I could lie, right? I could lie and be like, every quarter we sit down and we say, this is how Mantalk's going to go. But with everything in life, me and Oscar say we can't call it. And that goes for everything. We can't call it. Now...
That's an inside
That's a double
joke.
entendre.
That's an inside joke.
Yeah. So,
can't call it, bro. You can't call it.
So, you can't call it. So what we like to do is we like to have a template of template of topics we want for that season. Things we think are going to be insightful, things we think we can articulate well with our limited experience in life. We have a list of 8. We already have that, right? We'll talk to each other before a season. But as the season goes on, we'll see what's happening here and there. We'll see what brands want to give us money, and we'll also see what's happening what's happening online. Where can we be relevant into a topic and give our insight into a topic that's happening? But the basis of all of our conversation is, do we have value to give in a certain topic? So if we decide to talk about episode 5 of last season, where it's love yourself, we'll look and we'll think. I think that as men, a problem that we're having is that people aren't talking about, self-love as guys. So me and Oscar will say, okay, now let's go challenge ourselves to go and find a topic. Then seasons, like an episode like this, we decided we need to be interactive. We need to be able to have that back and forth. So we've made a staple that every season we have to do a Q&A. But those are the kind of parameters we use. Is there something we can sort of pick? But when it comes to picking those topics, this is how it goes. Bring, 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 bring. Yeah, Oscar.
Yep.
Yeah. What are we saying? What are we saying for this week? What are you thinking?
I'm looking at it. I'm seeing... people have been talking a lot about the whole gender-based violence thing. I think we should put our spin on it and see what going.
Yeah. Okay, say less. So I'll go do some research. You do some research, and then we'll prep our notes and have a meeting the day before the shoot.
Yeah, but then we'll bounce it off of the guys in Project Arasa, see what they think on the live, and then
see what they think.
Do the episode. Yeah, shoot the thing. Standard.
All right, cool.
Standard.
Nice. All right, you'll have my notes by end of day, and then
Yeah, sure. I'll definitely put it together, and then we'll discuss. Nice. Yeah.
All right, see you tomorrow.
Enjoy Kent.
Right, cool.
Enjoy the sunshine.
Beep. Oh, sorry. Yeah, no, sure. Yeah. All right. Okay. But do you do that thing where you can't say bye once? I'm like, bye. Okay, bye. Bye. That's literally how it goes. We like to keep it very malleable. We like to be able to just, move and flow and pivot as we've done countless times.
Yeah.
With Mantalk. So yeah, that's how we do. It's very relaxed. It's very
We have range. We're like Steph Curry. We shoot from the half line. We shoot from the corner.
Yeah.
We can lay it up.
Yeah.
We can pass it.
Listen.
It's like this team. We don't know. Wait. One last question. One last question. I nearly forgot. So we have a question that is directed towards our crew members.
Hey,
Beryl.
I'm correct.
So the question is, what does Eric actually look like? Eric, do you want to come and say hello? Eric, do you want?
You're on the podcast. You're not missing out.
Eric, do you want to come and say hi?
Called Chocolate Man.
Yeah, he's not coming to say hello.
Come on, Eric.
Come on, Eric. Come say hi.
Come on.
Come say hi, Eric. Huh? Say hi, Eric.
Ladies, they want to see.
Say hi. Say hi.
60% ladies. Listen to
you guys want to see the other man in Mantalk.ke. So So yes. Where's Eric?
He's normally behind the lens. Dragged him. Is he coming?
He's not coming. He's put out his fingers. Like, find the man in the other man, the invisible man in Mantalk.ke.
Yeah. One day you'll see him. One day. Maybe if we have a live event.
It's possible.
Ooh.
It's possible. Maybe if we have a live event, maybe might be a live podcast, a pod party.
We'll let you know.
Ooh.
I've said too much. Oscar, mate, this was fun, man. This was fun as always. I love the Q&A ones. The Q&A ones are good. It's like banter and some seriousness. We pretend we know what we're talking about. It's great.
No, we do pretend we know what we're talking about. We
do pretend very well. We're just two guys in our 20s just figuring it out. We're just figuring it out. And we're glad to do it with you guys, man. It's always fun. Fun. Another episode.
Yeah.
Another episode. Remember to like, comment, subscribe if you're not. And please share, because if you share, then it helps us grow and then we can get more people on board.
Don't feed strangers in the restaurant. Don't do what Eli does. Don't force feed. Feed them. Force feed them the content.
Yeah, let's come back round. Full circle. But guys, thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on the podcast. And thank you for following us on social media. See you soon.